Hello, beautiful people. It's nice to have you join us on the show, The Woman. My name is Elizabeth. Now, do you know that women are very big in talent? According to Hillary Clinton, they remain the biggest reservoir of talent yet untapped. Yes, that's the whole world. But I think that in Nigeria, the Nigerian woman is a special breed. They have a whole lot within them. And at the end of the day, little less than 10% of that has been used. We need to harness what the women can offer to make the society a better place. Like I told you, the show is The Woman. And today I have another very talented person, multi-talented as a matter of fact, because she's in different field. Who is this guest? I'll be telling you a lot more about her when we begin big time. But I'd like you to know that when it comes to politics, education, entrepreneur, research, science, consultation, whatever it is, including providing adequate mentorship for younger people and indeed even the older ones. She is tops on it.
Well, there's a myriad of things. So I think first of all, we have to go back to teaching skills. Your students speak a whole lot about Nigeria.
I said, let's pick them up. Let's take them back to Nigeria and let's teach them a different kind of job.
Yes, I did tell you that my guest is a special personality, a woman who is doing so much, not just for herself, not just for people around her, but the entire nation and far beyond. Like I told you earlier, she is an educationist, an entrepreneur, philanthropist, an activist, a politician, yes, what else? A whole lot of things. But let me quickly welcome Ambassador Dr. Oluwatoyi George Taylor.
Thank you very much.
This is effervescent about you. Happy effervescent though, and I feel it's a bit contagious as well.
Oh.
Because once I see you, I want to smile.
I'm very happy to hear that.
That's good. That's good. And another thing that got me attracted to you is the fact that anything you do, you get involved in, you try to see to the end. I like that. You started by studying education, and little wonder you were able to set up a school, and the aggregate, the position is so much. But I'm wondering, what pushed you, what motivated you, what propelled you into education?
Thank you very much. One thing that propelled me into education when I first started was the love for children. I love children. So, and I've always loved to help the less privileged children. So I started off with the Lebanese Community School, which is a highbrow school for very, very rich parents. And their curriculum was the American syllabus. And I worked with them. I even got a commendation. Now, I now thought about it, that the fact that you're born into a home that is not rich doesn't mean that you shouldn't enjoy the same thing as those who were privileged. After all, we didn't choose who our parents are supposed to be. Sure. So I decided that I was going to carry what I have learned from the Lebanese school to an average area in Lagos then, in Itire, and I started off a school. And because of the experience I had there, I brought in the UNESCO and brought in a lot of activity. And I'm very, very happy that a lot of my students, as at today, are in very, very high places.
Oh, that's beautiful. Some people open up a school as teachers, and they, at a point, do not teach. They no longer teach because they are the proprietors. But you are still engaged, or you were engaged in the two. What particular love for teaching do you have?
Okay, to teaching, I really love teaching. I believe being a good teacher is a gift. It's something that just comes natural to you. So I was teaching the children, doing a lot for them. And children are very, very expressive. When they are happy, you know. When they're not happy, you know. So I continued like that. And then after a while, I decided that I wanted to work with another special group of women. Women who don't have formal education, who wanted to learn one skill or the other. So from there, I started an NGO, acronym CIRAT, Center for Training, and I went around the area looking for girls who were not doing anything. And then I would counsel them and tell them to look at themselves. What do you think you can do? And I started teaching them. So I went into skill training, you know. And this was an NGO, so I got some very close friends of mine when they saw what we were doing. And we trained people in the area of catering. That time computer was relatively new. We did computer training and stuff. And a lot of them were gainfully employed. And at that time, I was a member of the Women Association, National Women Association. And Femi Pedro was our deputy governor then in Lagos State. And through him, I was able to meet with Princess Adejoke Adefulure. That time she was the commissioner for women in Lagos State. And they collaborated with my NGO. And so, by the grace of the Almighty God, who makes things possible for people, we were able to, I was able to assist to train about 12,000 women in Lagos State in different skills. We went into decoration, adire making, bead making, all kinds of things. And I was very happy.
You know, the best and the quickest way of making sure that people around you are happy is empowerment. Yes. And that's not just giving them fish, but teaching them how to do the fishing, yes, which you are doing yourself. And I see that you're always tirelessly doing one thing or the other. Yes. As a researcher, I like the research you made on soya ogi, you know. Yes. How did that, you were part of that research? Yes.
I was part of that research. That was when I newly came in from the UK. I studied in the UK. I went to Godolphin School in Salisbury. I did part of my secondary schooling in England. And then I went to the City University now. Then it was called North London Polytechnic. And that was when I now came to Nigeria. And I was working with FIRO, Federal Institute of Industrial Research. And that was the first project I was made to do, which had to do with babies. And that was how I actually eventually started the school.
Okay, that's good. That's how the soya beans pap for children.
Yes, for children, especially children, yes, that don't tolerate milk. After that, I ventured now into climate change, trying to know why things happen the way they do, and that is affecting our environment, and how it affects plants, how it affects everything, because the environment is all part of us.
Yes, was that how you got into the alternative energy studies? Because I know you did something on a windmill, okay, for the north. But I'd like to know, how did you get that? When I saw it, I said, this one they taught us in secondary school, was it primary?
Actually, windmills came to Nigeria many years ago, but it was basically in the north. The first sets of windmills were even, I think, in Kano, and some of them are still working even up till now. There was a little bit of adjustment to them in terms of trying to get the machine together. But they've been there for over 60 years now, the mechanical windmill. But then after a while, the phase went away. The very first windmills were the Climax windmills. But after a while, nobody, you know, worried about the windmills anymore.
We had oil boom.
Yes, we had the oil boom. So now, after coordinating the women on skill acquisition in Lagos State, in fact, that was one of the reasons why I looked a bit into politics, you know, because we had so many women, and they used to call me Ole Olegbeluwa. That means a lazy woman cannot live in Lagos, you know.
Ole Olegbeluwa.
Ole Olegbeluwa. You know,
yes,
okay. The women then.
Okay.
So from there, I love coordinating. I love helping people to make their business work. So if you're doing a particular business and it's not working very well, I come, I put myself down, I think of innovative things that could boost your business and like business development. So I enjoy that coordination a lot. So a lot of people come to me to help them beef up their business. So one day somebody brought in one British man to me, and he was bringing in the windmills. So he told me that he wanted the windmills marketed in the northern part of Nigeria. And as at that time, I was quite close to a lot of people in the northern part of Nigeria. And this was how I started on the windmills. And we were very, very lucky. We wanted to start in Kano, but we eventually started in Jigawa. And His Excellency Governor Lamido was the one that gave us the first boost. And he invested in 50 windmills all across the local government in Jigawa State. And we started installation. Incidentally, this was also when the conflict between the farmers and the herdsmen started. So Jigawa did not experience a lot of this at all, because the Fulanis had their windmills. The windmills gave water to the livestock. The windmill gave water to the people rearing the livestock, and the windmill provided water for grass to grow. So everything they needed was in the environment. And so there was no need for the animals to be taken elsewhere. Okay. Although another thing that happened was desertation, in which the desert was moving into the north, which led to the Great Green Wall, where they're now growing a lot of trees to stop the desert from encroaching upon the land. Yes. I was a part of that as well. Okay. So this is how I came into environment. And
you also did you replicate this, or was it just water you did for Gombe State?
We did water again for Gombe State. Okay. And we worked in Kaduna, we worked in Kano. And in Kano, we actually gave them, the windmills come in different types. The one we were installing was the mechanical windmill. But we now installed the one that produces electricity. Just one. It was a gift we did for Kano State.
That's a good one. Now, given the state we have now, don't you think that if those things are replicated, especially now we're crying about high tariff of electricity and all that, would it go anywhere to help as of today? Well, spreading around the country.
Yes, there was a very big one that was done, not by us, as you're entering Katsina State. But that one had to go into the national grid. And they still haven't done it completely up till now. So, but I think a lot of these things have to be carefully put together so that the general public can benefit from it. And if you're going into the national grid and all these things, there's a lot of bureaucracy, there's a lot of procedures. So I think the government can...
electricity is one big issue that every Nigeria, once is mentioned, where our ears, the tentacles are standing because it's costing arm and leg.
I know.
So we are thinking about the solar energy, and luckily you're also into solar energy. Why is it so expensive, and how can Nigerians begin to embrace it fully?
The solar, there's a lot going on in the climate change industry. So the solar, I think if the people in the climate change space are given a lot of, shall I say, room to work with them, they'll be able to achieve a lot, because there's a lot going on internationally concerning solar power and all these things. And there's a lot in Nigeria that a lot of people don't even know of what is going on. And the solar panels are being brought down in price. And there's...
it's coming down.
It's coming down in
price.
And also, when you use a lot of solar, you're not emitting any carbon. So Nigeria too is developing a lot of things in the area of carbon credit. It's luckily they've President Muhammadu Buhari has made climate change now. We now have a climate change unit in Nigeria that is recognized by government. If they sit together, maybe with the power people, they may be able to come up with something very, very constructive.
And perhaps cheap enough for us to embrace
yes.
as Nigeria. That's the key. It's not that we don't know about it,
yes.
or maybe we don't want to use it. It's just perhaps the cost is scaring, especially initial takeoff is scaring a lot of us. I hope it comes to that.
I think liaising with Ministry of Environment, the climate change unit will do a lot for us in the area of solar.
Okay. I hope they get it done and done fast for all of us. Now, you have made mention of your political arm. I know you're a strong leader, woman in APC in Lagos, and you've been galvanizing women to contribute their quota in the political terrain. And I'm wondering, a lot of times we keep shouting that women are not enough, women are not enough. And it looks like at the dawn of every era, the number seems to go down a little bit. What are we doing wrong? How can we, push in more of our female strength into the political terrain?
Well, that's an area I was involved with also years and years back with late Professor Jadisola Akondi and Afsat Abiola and all, Chief Remy Diku Bakari, all these people, and Mama Sarah Jubril. So we were advocating for more women in politics. So there are many factors that affect us women. Number one is finance. Most of the time the men have more money than us. And so it becomes a restraint sometimes. I said sometimes. Then the men know how to, how do I put it?
Play the politics.
Play the politics. I don't want to go too deep into that. Okay. They know how to play the politics. But we're trying. Mm-hmm. We are trying, actually. Okay. We're trying. At least we're having more women come out now, and I'm very, very happy.
I'm looking forward to seeing more of us on the, elective, not appointed position. I think that will make me understand that the masses, the populace are beginning to, cast their confidence on the women. Because I know we can do it, really.
I believe we can do it. I believe in women, and yes. I love women. And I know that we can do it.
But have you thought about joining, picking up a ticket yourself? Just wondering.
I tried that in 2007.
Okay.
But as at that time, I got a little scared because it's a bit rough, And I just was a bit scared.
No, you don't need to be. At a moment like that, scholars will support you.
It was like, it was rough. And I came out in Ibutemeta in Lagos, which was a very tough terrain. So it didn't encourage me too much to come out for elected. But I support any woman all the time that wanted to come out. And then there's a group that came up before this election that was saying that women should support women. And any woman that held any elective post, the women should support them. And I think if we do that, we have to help ourselves. Definitely. So if we can do that, definitely, if we know a woman is capable and she has come out for elections, and we women, let's give her all the support that she needs. Mm-hmm. We are very many, and I believe that our women should be able to make it.
If we all pull our eggs into this one basket of womanhood, we'll go places.
Yes, we will.
Okay. Now, without meaning to, move away from your career and the job part, I would like to ask you, maybe this time very personal, I know, like I said earlier, that you exude this ambience of happiness and joy around people, which is good. But then, how that comes up is important to me. How do you rejuvenate yourself to constantly stay happy?
Thank you very much. It's very interesting for you to know that I made up my mind I'm going to be a happy person.
It's a decision.
It's a decision, and I'm intentional about it. And there's everything to make me a very unhappy woman. But I am so determined that come rain, come sunshine, I am a happy, happy person. And I lost my husband many years ago, and I still made sure that I want to be a happy person. God makes me very happy. That's a very strong point. And then I dwell only on positive things. I don't dwell on any matter that I don't have control over. And whatever I am doing, I look at the bright side of it. And I look at the good parts of people. There is nobody that is perfect. So I promote the good parts of whoever I meet. And I believe that I don't want people who are grumpy, moody around me. So I carry on the smile. And so I don't have any dull moment. I always look for things to make me happy.
Oh, that's a good one. How do you recreate, I mean, for hobbies, when you want to relax?
I have different things that, make me very, very happy. Number one, I love documentaries.
Oh.
People have different funny things that make them happy. I like to know more. I like to learn. I love talking to people, but I don't like talking on things like gossip. I don't do it. I believe time is precious. Life is precious. Every minute we have is a gift, and I want to use it positively. My life is all about people. Making this world a better place.
That's a nice one. Do you still create time for family?
Yes. Yes.
How do you bond with your family?
Interesting. I have 3 boys and 1 daughter, and we talk all the time. And it's mommy this, what do you think about this? What is this? What is that? And incidentally, I am very, very close to my children, and close to my brothers and sisters and everybody, and advise them, and that is it. But I'm not too much of a party person. I'm more of a bit of a serious.
I tried to do a sample opinion of young girls, on the street about marriage and mother-in-laws. It was amazing what I was able to find out. A lot of them said they don't want to marry a man who has a mother. Even though I try to actually change that opinion, because you too want your son to marry one day. But I guess the fear is coming from the problem of mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. And I know you have 3 boys, as you have just told us. How do you manage situation without interfering?
There is something that I do. I tell myself that, look, fortunately I had a very happy marriage. Even if I didn't, I would still talk to myself. The new ladies are not the one that caused any problem for me. I have enjoyed my life, and why should I make their life miserable? So I don't believe in that. I see my daughter-in-law as my daughter, and we sit down and we chat just like we're talking now. And my daughters-in-law are so free with me. They would tell me anything. And my daughter too, and my son-in-law, we're all very, very close. So mother-in-laws, I would just say that if you make life very difficult for your son's wife, then your son cannot be a happy person. And if you truly love your son, you don't want your son confused, not being able to concentrate on what he's doing. Of what use is that to you? So I'm intentional about being my daughter-in-law's friend, and for her to know that she has somebody who is there for her. And that is it. And if a lot of women can think like this, I believe this world will be a much better place.
All right, thank you so much.
I've even had situations where some people, because they're not nice to their daughter-in-laws, the daughter-in-laws have removed the grandchildren from them so that they don't see the grandchildren as they ought to. Yes. And when you are too difficult, it's easy for them to give you names as if you're a witch or something like this. So you have to calm down a bit because you have to enjoy your grandchildren, you have to enjoy your daughter-in-law so that everything around you is peaceful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think it's all dependent on the fact that we must understand where our authority begins and ends. Once your wife or your son gets married, there is another person seemingly in charge. So you should let that person control a certain aspect that she or he is supposed to control. It's wonderful having this wonderful discussion with you.
Thank you very much.
So nice. And if I want to key into what you're doing as a woman, how do I reach you? Because I'm sure there are a lot of women who may want you to mentor them as we speak. How can we reach you?
It's very easy to reach me. I'll give you all my details and everything before I go. And I want the women to know I'm there for them. I love women. I like to see women very successful, not only in their career, at home, every aspect of them. Because if a woman is truly, truly, truly happy, the husband will be happy, the home will be happy, the nation will be happy. So it's very important for we women to be together. It is important. Thank you so much. I will be speaking with this amazing woman, a woman who has brought so much on the table and open for all of us to eat. The educationist, a politician, so to speak, an activist, a gender protector, if you ask me, and the CEO of Sirat, and also the proprietor of the George Taylor Nursery Primary School, in fact, educational center, a whole lot of things put together. If you have learned one or two things, don't just listen and move away. Put it to practice, and very importantly, love yourself and be intentional about being happy. I'll see you again next week. My name again is Elizabeth Abai. Bye.